Right. Welcome, you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome everybody.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, how are y'all doing this evening? Good. Just want to let you know that we're going to start doing things a little bit differently. Wendy and I are going to be working team meetings together right now, and just want to let you know that from now on, we're going to start doing an on-time drawing. So if you're here on time, you get entered for a drawing for a prize. And if you're late, then you don't get entered for the on-time prize. So tonight, everybody was here on time.
6:30.
So,
Everybody's here was on time.
Yep. You're all here on time. So we have anybody coming in now. There's that luck.
I get one?
You can draw one.
I shouldn't get one.
You draw the winner.
Oh,
You're drawing the winner.
I'm drawing the winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to read the number?
If y'all don't have it, me.
I didn't know everybody had their tickets already.
Yeah, there you go.
All right,
lost your
I have
ticket.
mine.
You just
Wait a
got
minute.
it. You lost it.
Make them cheer for that. Well, each number.
5. This is the last 3 numbers.
Okay, yay.
5, 9. Wait a minute. Let me double check.
5, 9,
0.
can't hear it.
Oh, yay!
Congratulations.
I always need umbrellas.
Umbrellas always coming.
What?
Is it a damsel one?
It's not damsel,
Oh.
but
I know, it would be
I know.
super cool. I was kind of jealous.
it's gonna start raining recruits, so she's gotta have an umbrella. How about that?
That's
Well, we just got back from leadership, and just to share a few things with you that, well, I'm gonna share a little bit, and then Wendy's gonna share more. We met a lady there from Cincy. Her name is Carol. Help me pronounce it. Bishop Hodge. Is that it?
Bishop Howe.
Bishop Howe. It's BOSHUP HAUCH. Ever how you pronounce it, Carol Bishop Howe? Okay.
She was awesome.
Carol was a high school dropout, and now she's earning over 6 figures a year with Cincy, and it all came from her getting in early and not quitting. And you know, when you get in something this early, because we're just a little over 3 years old, and I just had my 1-year Damselversity, and so it's an exciting time because you know you're in at that opportunity, ground floor right now. Get out and share that with everybody. Be excited about what you're doing. Be excited about the mission, the product, the income, the opportunity that you have that you've been given right now. Because guess what? A lot of people are not going to be given this opportunity again in life. How many of you, I know one, at least 2, how many of you are in other party plans?
Oh.
So, how many of you have ever been in on the ground floor like this, other than this business?
It's the first time.
Because most time in life we're not given this opportunity, so you want to take it and run with it. If you run with it, like Carol said, you just stick to it, and you're going to have times of discouragement. You're going to have times that you'll get down. You're going to have times you want to quit. You just persevere. Keep going, and don't ever make a decision on a down day. Always make your decisions on a day where you're thinking rational, where you're upbeat. If you get discouraged and you make a decision on that day, guess what? You're going to probably quit. And then you're going to look back with a great regret because you're missing out on that 6-figure income. Think about how Carol quit on a day that she was feeling so down. She would not be where she is now. And I can tell you right now, she was an awesome speaker, was she not?
She was.
The entire time she was talking, you're sitting there, and you can't help. You're just focused on every single word that comes out of her mouth. She was just wonderful. But
She was just real.
she was just real. And I'm going to tell you what, she didn't mind saying exactly what she felt. It was like she would have you so caught up in about her business, and the next minute, everybody, the whole room was just in laughter. And she talked about how you reach out to the people on your team, those people that are working. Reach out to those people every month. Take notes. You look at those people, reach out to them, encourage them, lift them up. Make contact with them on a weekly basis. Everybody else, you send an email to. You send it in general email to everybody. But those people that are actually working, building that business, that's the people you want to focus your time on. You don't ever want to give up on anybody. Because guess what? You might have a diamond in the rough. They may be coming on at their own time, at their own pace. But you do want to go ahead and look at the people who are working towards that goal right now. So you make contact with them. Let them know you're interested in them. Let them know you're interested in their business. What's going on with them. any way you can help them, make yourself available as you can. Also, she talked about making goals and setting out charts. I've got to find, I'm going to use Wendy's here. She talked about marking your calendar. How many of you have a calendar that you mark and keep tabs on?
You gonna let him finish the sentence first?
I do. He's seen my calendar recently.
Calendar.
She
I'm
marked
passionate
hers.
about calendar blocking.
What colors, how do you mark your calendar?
Green are money days.
Exactly.
Pink or purple, because like both of those are items close to my heart. So those are family days. Yellows are like important events, and typically I use orange or blue for like other things I have to do.
Right, and Carol talked about that, and that's exactly the way she marked hers out. And she passed her calendar around to let us see her calendar and to see the way she had it all laid out. And you can pick these up at the Dollar Tree for $1. So that will help you to get your business organized. And what you do, you pass your calendar around at your Power Hour shows, give it to people, have those dates marked off that you have open and available. And if that comes back to you with nobody new on it, pass it around again and say, oh, this must not have made it around. Y'all must not have noticed. You must have been talking. And pass it around again. And she says she gets bookings by doing that.
Wow.
Did she not?
Yes.
Yes. She talked about how the people
That's
book.
right.
But you pass that calendar around again. So don't give them that opportunity to opt out.
Just say which dates do you want, just
Exactly.
don't, no is not an option.
Exactly.
Choose a date.
I used to have certain dates that I would have certain, these are the dates that I'm partying on. So if you pick one of these dates, you get an extra something, or, do something to make them do those dates, because those are the only dates I wanted to party that month and I needed to fill them. So I would, tell them this is what I have, instead of leaving the whole calendar, well, I have any day, when do you want to do it?
Right.
And that's just too much. You have to narrow it
It's
down
hard,
and say,
yeah.
okay, I usually say, a weekend or weekday. Okay, weekend I have this one or this one. And then just, because the less choices people have, the easier it is for them to make a decision.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly. Thank you. Oh, something else. How many of you take notice of the national page? Look at that.
The Facebook?
Facebook. Facebook national page. I think it was Sherry Damsel Thompson, is that right? That shared on there about, she said that before each Empower Hour, talk to your host to see who's most excited about being there. And then when they come in, you have name tags for about, I've never used name tags. I am bad for that. And I'm not good at names, so I really needed to use name tags. But she's talking about picking out the 2 people that's most excited about being there. And what you do is have your hostess to tell you their names when they come in, so that way you can look at their name tag and see who they are. Give them a product. And I just did this on a launch party I did. And give them a product. That's the only 2 people in the room gets a catalog. Nobody else gets a catalog before the Empower Hour is over. So give them a product you want them to look up in the catalog and be prepared to share about. And then during the Empower Hour, you ask them to come up and share about that item.
Wow.
So I actually had that happen this past weekend. And I had 2 people, my new recruit, and she had 2 people that she had name tags. I asked them to come up, pick an item, and tell about that item. When I called on them, I had one at a time come up. They went by the catalog, and that's fine. They stood there and ran out the catalog, held the item up, described it, showed it, all the different features of it. At the end of it, I said, the only difference between you and I. And they said, what? And I said, I get paid for doing this, you didn't.
Wow.
Guess
Eye-opening.
what? Both of them was talking to her about signing up.
Wow.
Sherry said that's how she gets, yes.
Oh, I wanted you to finish first. But so you don't hand out your catalogs till the end?
I don't.
Okay.
No, because what it does, if you hand out your catalog when you first get started, here's what you're going to see.
Right.
And you're going to see this happen, and then guess what that's going to do? That's going to distract the next person next to you.
Okay.
And then first thing you know, you're going to have everybody sitting here, and they're not really listening. They're not listening to the opportunity. They're not listening to the product. They're not listening to being aware of their surroundings. What they're doing is looking at the item and what the cost is. And if they focus on learning about the product, they may be interested in a more expensive product. But guess what most people want to do when they go to a show? They want to help their friends, and they want to buy the least expensive item there. And they do that just to help their friends. However, if they don't have a book to look at, they're not thinking about the money. They're thinking about what they really need. in hand at the time if they should be in an attack situation or domestic violence situation. They're thinking about what's going to help them get out of that situation the most. So always wait and give your catalogs out at the end, so that way have them participate. And I actually do pass different products around, let them to hold it. Guess what? If somebody holds something and feels it, it becomes more real. Pass it around. Tell me with that, this, what do you see the difference in and what excites you about that?
The colors.
And what
I
else?
think it is.
And look at the two of them, compare the two.
Oh, the size.
Yes.
Yep.
And so, see, you start getting them engaged with products when you hand out products and let them actually feel and touch. If you go into a clothing store and all you can see is the size and the color, are you apt to buy that if you don't touch it?
No.
But if you can pick it up and feel of it and see if it's comfortable, you think it's something you're going to like or not, you're more apt to buy it. So that's why they have it on display. So you want to make your stuff available for them to handle and to touch and to feel, because it becomes more of real for them, more of a want for them, a need. So always pass out some of the products. You probably don't have time to like let every product go through the room. Pick out certain ones and let them feel those products.
And Sherry, the one that gave that advice about letting your people in the group demonstrate something, she's just one of the top recruiters in the company. She's
And that's
got like
frontline
25
recruits.
qualified front lines every month.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes. It's like constantly, and they are qualified at 150, so she's building a large organization. She really is. She's really expanding a great
You
deal.
volunteer to do stuff. Wait, you didn't have to ask you. You just like, let me do this one.
No, there was no I don't know.
We'll show you something else. How many of you mail out postcards, invitations for your hostess to
If
their
they
guests?
If they want them, I do.
It's really great to get that, and I'll tell you why. Because if you just send out invitations by Facebook, guess what they can do? They either ignore it or decline it. They don't have to remember it. If people have something in hand, it's really great. I told Wendy what I'm going to be doing from now on. I've ordered a bunch of the postcards from corporate, and I always send those. I ask for guest lists. And it's very rare I don't get a guest list, because if I don't get a guest list at first, I ask for it again. And so what you can do now, and this is what I'm going to start doing, I'm ordering the brochures. This is going to be what I mail out. But what I'm going to do is take this brochure and I'm going to attach my business card to the back of it. So it has all my information, it has my website, my phone number, and all that on it. I'm mailing this out. I'm going to stick it in an envelope, mail it out. This slides right down in here. It's got my card attached. Goes out to them, address it, mail that out, because guess what's going to happen? If they cannot attend, the hostess can call them and ask them if they'd like to place an order, because they have all the product right here in front of them. If they don't at that moment, guess what they have? They have your contact information. They still have all the information about the products. They have the product line we have here, about the mission, the opportunity. You have it here. At some future time, they may be in need of money to make extra money. They have something there at home. They may come run across this at some point. They might think, hey, I need to give them a call. That's a way to make extra money. Or they may find themselves in a domestic violence situation, or know somebody who is. Guess what? They may look at your information on here, call you up and place an order. Yes.
Are you sending that because not many people have heard of Damsel in Defense yet? Because
Now,
like
this
I had not heard of these at all.
Now, I always, just like with your other business, I always mail out invitations anyway. So I'm going to send this, that way if they cannot make it, they still have something they can look at it.
Put the address for the party.
It's
No, in an
It's
envelope.
addressed on envelope. You just address the envelope.
I know, but I'm talking about where the party's gonna be. Do you put a card in there with it?
Yeah, you can print it. Thank you, because I said to Wendy, because you want to print out a letter, just, addressing who the hostess is, the time, the date, and all that, and just print it out, fold that
So
up.
you
and
haven't
stick
had
this
a
in
problem with your hostesses not giving you a list because everybody wants to do a private event on Facebook?
No, and I hear a lot of people talking about having problems with it. I don't. I really don't. I get guest lists from probably 95 to 98% of my hostesses.
Well, it's all in your hostess coaching.
Yes.
That's how you coach your host
Yes.
to have a party.
And I let them know that people can just decline or just ignore it if it's a Facebook invitation only. And people have gotten so much away from sitting down and hand addressing anything, having anything in hand. If it's on Facebook They may not go on there, may not look at it, they just thought, another invitation, because guess what? A lot of people send invitations by Facebook. Very rare anymore does somebody get something in hand by mail.
I got 4 events on my Facebook I ain't even looked at.
And that happens.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know.
That's right.
And if you do it on your phone, I didn't know. If I had not gone on my computer, I wouldn't have even known about the event. So
I have
that's-
13.
It is true.
Get 13. And and a lot of people don't look at that. But how rare is it to get something in mail addressed, you hand addressed anymore?
It's not a bill.
That's right. And you're going to want to look at it because it's hand addressed.
Yeah.
It is hand addressed to you, so that makes it more special, more personal. So it's really good just to stick this in an envelope with your business card. They have your information for future reference.
And you just type up a little letter.
Type up a little letter with the
Put, like,
hostess
the
name,
seal or
address,
something
the
on it.
time, and yes, and invite them. You can put anything about the mission, about, and encourage them to bring a friend. You could even offer a small prize. It could be something as small as going to the dollar store. You don't, it does not have to be a $10 or $15 item.
Yeah, tickets.
Go get something, have a gift for somebody who brings a friend, have a drawing. You don't have to do one for everybody. Give tickets out like we did here tonight. Give tickets out. Everybody who brings an uninvited guest, they get a ticket, they get entered for the drawing. So then somebody there is going to win a gift. Do you think some people's going to invite a guest? And always make sure you say that they have to be 18 or older. Because guess what? That person may want to sign up with you. Not the person that was invited, but their guest. Because then you're expanding even beyond the hostess friends. You're going out into even a bigger circle. Let me go over one more thing, and I'm going to let Wendy grab this for a minute.
And Facebook invitations just do not work.
No.
The invitations you can send from the website.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say anything about you having to be 18.
One thing that Carol shared with us, she said, you know,
You don't have to.
you always go in your circle. When you first start doing your Empower Hours and everything, you go in your circle. But then you have the NFL. And that's when no friends or family is left. So you have to expand beyond your circle of friends. And it's really great, you know, going to events and stuff because you do meet new people, going into different states as you travel. Give this opportunity to everybody. Don't prejudge anybody. Share it with everybody you come in contact with. Wendy will tell you, there's not a person that I come across that they don't get my card. Even airline stewardesses, right? And they get my card, and you know, and I don't know what the future holds for that. I may end up with no new recruits from all the cards I hand up. I might end up with 100 somewhere down the road.
That's what you buy the cards for, though, right?
Exactly. And you give those cards out, and you make them work for you. And it's no need in taking those cards. It's like the ones, you know, where they're changing the logos and all. You better believe I'm getting rid of all the cards that I have. So I'm gonna make those cards work for me. And they did say something about giving us 6 months to use up the cards and stuff that we already have. So you will have 6 months to use those
When would the
up.
new ones be available?
After the first, they're
Yes.
gonna roll them out, yeah.
First.
Here, Danny, I don't know these words. So is this the child size and adult size? Is that the reason for the smallness? 'Cause
Yeah,
I have
small,
some of this,
medium,
and I couldn't
large
get the
now.
small one on. Okay.
That's cool.
They have, and we have, it's 5 different ones.
Are they the same price?
No, the price is lower.
I mean the different sizes. I know.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
so
they're all
glad
the
they're
same
different. I'm
price.
so
Yeah.
glad they went down in
All
price.
$10.
Now they're very competitive, but ours have the whistle.
Yeah, and you can't buy a paracord bracelet with a whistle that
No.
cheap at Walmart or anywhere. It's
Oh,
just
I didn't
a
know there was
fabulous
any
price.
other ones. Whistles.
I saw them there, but they were like $17. So
Yeah. I've
I
seen
mean,
You
some.
have to bust the part where it's
Oh, I do want to
melted.
share one more thing.
and then unravel it.
I do want to share one more thing. While we were there, they're asking everybody to share their aha moment. And up until that time on Sunday morning when we had devotions, I had some moments throughout the weekend. It was a very moving weekend, very power-packed, very inspirational, very uplifting, very moving. But Sunday morning, they asked people to share their aha moments. Now, Mindy and Bethany had did a devotional, and were sitting and talking with all of us. And all of a sudden, Jimmy Lynn headed to the stage. And he stopped right before he got to the stage, and he started to speak. And he said, that he wanted to share some scripture, and he started reading from he said Jeremiah, and I honestly don't remember if he said Jeremiah 29 first, or if he just said Jeremiah, and I poked Wendy, and I said 29:11, because I had bought this plaque, and so I knew that was for me. It was just like confirmation, for me being there for the weekend, and how powerful. And in Jeremiah 29:11 it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And there it is. And I tell you what, that was it was my aha moment. It was confirmation for me from God. It just, that meant a lot to me. And later I was telling, they was asking people to speak, and I told Wendy, I said, I want to speak, but I don't want to get emotional. And she's like, stand up and speak. I'm like, no. I said, not yet. And then I thought, I can do this now, and I'm not going to break down, because everybody was breaking down. I mean, it was truly that kind of weekend. And I stood up, and I started to speak, and I was like, a big baby. And so it was very moving, it was very emotional, but it really does, touch you. And everybody doesn't have the same beliefs. Everybody are there for different reasons, and so everybody had their own aha moment for the different reasons. And so, but anyway, I took away from that. I found out later, Jimmy was not supposed to say anything. He was not supposed to stand there and share anything. I told Mindy, I said, yes, he was. She told me, she said, when I was sharing with her and Bethany afterwards about that happening, and she said, he was not supposed to share anything. I said, yes, he was. And if it was just for me, yes, he was. Because that was a confirmation for me.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Turn that off. I want to show the video. We don't need a video.